Today, we're reflecting on how brokenness, imperfection, and vulnerability are not flaws to be fixed, but holy places where the divine lives. Hi friends, and welcome back to Speaking from the Heart. This is where we explore Christian gospel wisdom and how it speaks to our everyday lives, whether that's at work, at home, or deep in the quiet spaces of our soul. I'm Richard Fontany, and we have something unique for you this time. This podcast just features a thumbnail image while I talk. Why? Because I realize that most people listen to podcasts while driving, walking, or relaxing with the sound off. So I decided to try something different. A podcast made just for listening. I hope you like this format. Let me know in the comments if you do or if you don't. And thank you for doing so. Now let's get on with the podcast. Last week, I dwelled on a lyric from Leonard Cohen's Anthem. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. A beautiful poetic line, if there ever was one. But recently, I've started to see that line with new eyes. Not only as a call to let the light in, but as an invitation to look into the crack itself. What if instead of just seeing the crack as something that allows the divine light to pass through us, we also see it as a portal that lets us peer inside, into our brokenness, and glimpse the divine light already there. That's what we're talking about today, how brokenness, imperfection, and vulnerability aren't flaws to be fixed, but holy places where the divine already lives. Now, this idea isn't limited to personal spirituality. It has serious implications in business, work, and life. Think about your workplace. Maybe there's tension, a broken system, or a missed opportunity. Those cracks, whether they be in processes, relationships, or even within ourselves, can be frustrating to us, or they can teach us. They can be invitations. When we begin to view our cracks as windows into the divine, both within ourselves and within others, we lead and live differently. We extend grace. We seek growth, not perfection. And we find deeper connection with those we serve and lead. Let's ground this in gospel teaching. In Luke chapter 7, Luke tells the story of a woman who anoints Jesus with expensive perfume. She washes his feet with her tears and wipes them with her hair. And the Pharisees are shocked. If he were a prophet, he'd know what kind of woman that is, as they whispered. Jesus sees her differently. He sees her heart. He sees her crack, her brokenness. And through it, her love pours out. He says, her many sins have been forgiven, as her great love has shown. This is the crack that doesn't just let the light in. It reveals it. Jesus doesn't fix her. He acknowledges her brokenness and sees the divine within it. He shows us that divine love and mercy shine brightest through vulnerability. Now let's bring this into the workplace and let the light of transparency shine through us. Let's say you're a team leader and managing a high-pressure project. Things go sideways, and mistakes happen, maybe even some of your own. You've got two options. You can cover it up, or you can address it transparently. Choosing transparency, which is acknowledging the mistake and owning your part, might feel like exposing a crack. But your honesty invites others to be honest too. The light of trust and mutual respect begins to grow. People are more willing to collaborate, innovate, and take responsibility. Your vulnerability leads to a stronger team. And that crack? Well, it didn't destroy your leadership. It made it authentic. Here's another story. Imagine you're an entrepreneur and your business idea flops. And it hurts. It's embarrassing. But you sit with it, reflect on it, and ask yourself, what is this experience trying to tell me? Not just about the business, but about me and me personally. Now that crack, your failed launch, isn't a failure. It's a flashlight shedding light on the skills you need to develop or the passions that you have neglected. And through that space, you can find direction and maybe even a renewed purpose. Now that's not just resilience. That's spiritual discernment. Let's return to Leonard Cohen and his lyric. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. This line is often quoted to encourage people to embrace imperfection, as I talked about last week. But today I invite you to do something different, to go a little bit further. That crack is really a two-sided coin. One side allows the light of the divine to shine outward, to share compassion, truth, and love with the world, and with your community. Now the other side invites us to peer inward, to discover that same light within ourselves. And when we embrace both, we stop chasing perfection and start embodying grace. We begin to trust that God is already present in the places we try hardest to hide. So now I like to leave you with a little spiritual reflection. Take 5 minutes to reflect on today's message. What insight, word, or phrase resonated with you? What touched your heart? What action can you take today to turn this teaching into something meaningful in your business, in your places of work, or in your life? And most importantly, how might you share that reflection with someone else? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear how this message is living in your life. Now, if this episode touched your heart or gave you something to think about, go ahead and subscribe to our FM e-learning channel. You can always find Speaking from the Heart under our playlists. And please, don't forget to share it with someone who might use a little light in their life today. And thank you for doing so. And hey, make sure you join us for our next episode, where we'll dive into finding strength in stillness, a spiritual dive into how God works in silence and in solitude. I hope you can join us. I'm Richard Fontenay signing off. See you next time, if not before. Bye now.